Hello and welcome. Well, this is a milestone for motor cars enthusiasts. This is show number 100. Haven't even been going on full-time for a year now, but we're already up to 100 episodes of motor cars. So if you're a subscriber or if you're a fan of our Facebook page, thanks for being a part of this first year. We haven't made the first full year yet, but it's coming soon. Our anniversary will. And pretty exciting second year and a good start to 2013. And today we're going to do a little episode 100 actually. It's going to be an episode of car stories. On this edition of Car Stories, well, this got me thinking. There was another Facebook page, a motoring website, that brought up this about the turn of this year and was talking about what was the weirdest thing you've ever heard from a dealership employee or a salesperson. And it got me thinking. I was trying to write something out about this deal, but for whatever reason, Facebook was messing up that day. But I thought, you know what, this would be a pretty good car story because it was quite entertaining. Now, I'm going to take you back in time quite a bit. In fact, a couple of the members of the Motor Cars Enthusiast group here and I were out wandering around, and as some of my friends and I do, we like to just wander around and look at various dealership lots. Now, the fun part is kind of wandering on the back lot to see what people have traded in. That's where you get to see some of the cool stuff, and we'll just make a day out of it. Wander to some town and then just wander around to some of the local dealerships. And we know some of the better dealerships to go to in and around our area and make a pretty good time of it, along with some other motoring establishments. We get to go check them out every now and then. Now, on this particular occasion, this would have been back in the day. Now, for a lot of you overseas, you've probably had the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution for a long, long time. Well, here in the United States, we didn't get the Evo until the Evo 8 edition. So this would have been about the time when this car first came out. Not a whole lot of Mitsubishi dealerships, especially around Motor Cars HQ here, but there was one close to a bigger town that we were in. And we knew of this dealership, so we swung in to take a peek at the new Evo 8, hoping that they would have one. And lucky enough, they did have one, a bright yellow one like the one pictured here. Gorgeous car. We were kind of fondling over it, and along with a couple of other people that were there, actually probably getting some service work done, we were discussing the car when one of the salespeople comes out. And this starts at least the good part of this story. This was a young kid, just out of school, college. He might have been just out of high school or whatnot. He was a young kid. Had one of the cheapest looking, most ill-fitting suits I had ever seen in my entire life. And ever since then, I don't think I've ever seen one that bad. Greased back hair. He thought he was the Mac Daddy. He really thought he was the big thing on campus. And he come out there and he said, well, I see you guys are looking at the Lancer Evolution. Now, what came next was the most interesting part of this story. After talking for a couple of minutes with the guy, he claimed that, I don't know why you guys are looking at this car. What you need to go look at is this, the Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider. Then he said that this was probably the fastest car in the world. Well, that got our attention. Now, long ago, I used to correct a lot of salespeople, as a lot of salespeople aren't car people. I understand that. It's not their life. It's just a job to them, so I understand that. And back in the day, I used to correct a lot of dealerships, and they were giving a lot of misinformation, but found it to be way more fun to just let the person go, see what comes out of their mouth next. So he takes us back on the back lot where sits one of these Mitsubishi Eclipse Spiders. He is excited. This car is fast to him. Now, I understand that he probably had a little Chevrolet Celebrity or, you know, maybe a Cavalier or something. And this thing was probably quite peppy for anything he has driven. Now, if you don't know, when it comes to vehicles on a dealership lot, the more expensive stuff rarely gets to be driven by the entire sales staff, as there's only trusted people are trusted with these particular automobile. Now, the Evo 8 was a particular situation in this, and that it was only a little over 30 grand, but at that time, Mitsubishi dealerships were gouging people all over the country because we'd never had an Evo in the States before, and they were charging upwards of double the price of these Evolution 8s. So, you know, they weren't about to let some young kid off in this car, so obviously he had never driven it, nor had he ever ridden in it. He would probably know a different story than it was here with the Eclipse. Now, this is around the tuner car era, so, or at least when it was first firing up with one of the first Fast and Furious movies and stuff. So, what comes out next is maybe, well, it's a sign of the times, I guess. Now, the first thing he said to us, and he said this a lot, now a lot of people don't know this about this car. He said that a bunch of times and then spouted off Lord knows what. But one of the best ones he said, first thing I would do with this car was I would take out the back seat. And I was like, really? Take out the back seat? He goes, yep. Because a lot of people don't know about this, but the back seat weighs upwards of 800 pounds. Now, he didn't say 800 pounds, but that's the way it replayed in my head. I can only imagine the look that was on my face when he blurted this out. Apparently, Mitsubishi was making back seats out of granite or steel or marble, I guess. 800 pounds. Well, obviously, I would take it out, too. Then he came out and said the second thing I would do is put a body kit on this car. Okay, that was a sign of the time, the tuner car craze. Body kits were really big at the time. And then he goes, well, a lot of people don't know this, but when you put a body kit on a car, it makes the car lose weight. Well, I'm not a real physics major, but when you add something to something else, it never makes it weigh less. It makes it weigh more, at least as far as the parts are concerned that you're putting on. Now, I understand that probably the grill work would probably replace the factory one, along with whatever came in the rear, probably replaced it. But side skirts and other stuff like that, and probably he was going to go really exotic, so he would have gained weight anyway. The guy went on and on about this car, but those were the two gems, and at least still to this day, my friends and I still make fun of every time, or sometimes when we see a Mitsubishi Eclipse at least being the fastest car in the world. And I think that that moniker still stands to this day. I don't think that any vehicle is faster than the Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And that's all there was for this particular car stories. If you want to, you can subscribe to the channel at any time. You can get new updates on the brand new shows that come out before anybody else. Well, at least other than if you're a subscriber. Also, you can jump on over to the Motor Cars Enthusiast Facebook page, and you can like us there. Or even if you don't have a Facebook page, you can still go over and check out all the stuff that we've got going on over there. And that's all I saw that I thought was worth talking about for this week's car stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.